The tent flap rustled in the midnight wind, and I froze as Jordan's lips brushed against mine, his hand trembling on my shoulder. In that split second, my world shattered. My brother's best friend, the guy I'd idolized since high school, had just crossed a line I never knew existed between us. But the real shock hit when I didn't pull away. Instead, I leaned in, sealing a secret that would unravel everything I held dear. My name is Alex Thompson, and I grew up in the suburbs of Denver, Colorado, where life was as predictable as the Rocky Mountains looming in the distance. My family was the picture of American normalcy. Dad, a stern accountant who believed in hard work and harder discipline. Mom, the homemaker who baked pies for church potlucks. And my older brother, Mike, the golden boy, star quarterback, straight-A student, and now a rising junior at the University of Colorado. Me, I was the quiet one, the artist sketching in the corner, always a step behind in their eyes. At 22, I was finishing my degree in graphic design, but deep down, I carried a weight they couldn't see. I was gay, and I'd buried it so deep that even I pretended it wasn't there. The mountain adventure started innocently enough. Mike had planned a weekend camping trip to celebrate his promotion at the engineering firm, nothing fancy. Just the three of us guys hitting the trails in Rocky Mountain National Park. Jordan Hayes had been Mike's shadow since they were kids, the kind of friend who showed up for every family barbecue and holiday dinner. Tall, broad-shouldered, with that easy smile and tousled brown hair, Jordan was the epitome of the all-American guy. He'd just turned 25, working as a park ranger, which made him the perfect guide for our hike. "Come on, Alex," Mike had said, slapping my back. "It'll toughen you up. No more hiding behind your sketchbook." We drove up early Friday morning, the truck loaded with gear. The air grew crisp as we ascended, pines whispering secrets in the breeze. Jordan led the way on the trail, pointing out wildlife and sharing stories from his ranger days. I trailed behind, my backpack heavy, but my mind lighter than it had been in months. For the first time, I felt free, away from the judgmental eyes of our conservative neighborhood, where being different meant whispers behind your back. That first day, we hiked to a secluded lake, the water mirroring the snow-capped peaks. Mike and Jordan splashed around like kids, challenging each other to swim races. I sat on the shore, sketching the scene, but my eyes kept drifting to Jordan. There was something about him, the way his laugh echoed, the confidence in his stride, that stirred feelings I'd long suppressed. "Hey, artist boy," Jordan called, jogging over with water dripping from his chest. "Capture this moment?" He struck a silly pose, and I laughed, but inside, my heart raced. As evening fell, we set up camp. Mike built the fire while Jordan and I pitched the tents. "You're quieter than usual," Jordan said, hammering a stake. "Everything okay?" I shrugged, avoiding his gaze. "Just thinking." He paused, his expression softening. "About what?" I hesitated, then blurted, "About how different life feels out here. No expectations." He nodded, his eyes lingering. "Yeah, mountains have a way of stripping away the bullshit." Dinner was simple, hot dogs and s'mores, but the conversation flowed. Mike dominated, talking about his girlfriend and future plans. Jordan listened, but every so often, he'd glance at me, a silent question in his eyes. When Mike crashed early, exhausted from the hike, Jordan and I stayed by the fire. The stars blanketed the sky, and the crackling flames cast shadows on his face. "You ever feel like you're living someone else's life?" he asked suddenly. I stared into the embers. "All the time, like I'm playing a role." He shifted closer. "Me too. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever be honest with myself." That's when it happened, the kiss. It wasn't planned. It was a spark ignited by vulnerability. His lips were soft, tentative, and for a moment, the world stopped. But reality crashed back when Mike stirred in his tent. We pulled apart, hearts pounding. "What the hell was that?" I whispered. Jordan looked panicked. "I don't know. I'm sorry," I thought. "Forget it." He retreated to his tent, leaving me alone with the fire dying out. The next morning, tension hung thick in the air. Mike sensed something off but chalked it up to altitude sickness. We packed up and hiked higher, aiming for a summit overlook. Jordan avoided me, sticking close to Mike, but during a break he pulled me aside. "Last night was a mistake," he said, voice low. "We can't. Mike would kill us." I nodded, but the hurt stabbed deep. "Was it really a mistake?" He sighed. "Alex, I am, but no one knows. Especially not in our circle." Our circle was a tight-knit group of church-going families, where tradition ruled and anything outside the norm was sin. Dad had once ranted about those people during a news segment on gay marriage, his face red with anger. Mom nodded along, quoting Bible verses. Mike, though more open-minded, still cracked jokes that cut like knives. Coming out wasn't an option. It was a death sentence to family ties. As we reached the summit, the view was breathtaking, valleys stretching endlessly below. But my mind was a storm. Jordan's confession echoed. He was like me, hiding in plain sight. The attraction was mutual, but the risks were enormous. Betraying Mike's trust, facing family rejection. It all loomed like an avalanche waiting to bury us. That night, back at camp, Mike grilled steaks while Jordan and I gathered wood. Alone in the woods, Jordan stopped me. "I can't stop thinking about it," he admitted. "But we have to." I stepped closer. "What if we don't? What if this is real?" His eyes searched mine, and for a second, hope flickered. But then voices called from camp, and we hurried back, the moment lost. Little did I know, that kiss was just the beginning of a chain reaction. Mike had seen more than we thought. A shadow, a whisper, and suspicion brewed. The adventure was turning into a nightmare, forcing choices that would cost us everything. The drive back to Denver on Sunday felt endless. The truck cab thick with unspoken words. Mike blasted classic rock, oblivious or pretending to be, while Jordan stared out the window, his jaw clenched. I sat in the back, replaying the weekend in my head. The kiss, the confessions, the pull toward something forbidden. By the time we unloaded gear at home, I was a wreck, faking smiles as Mom hugged us and Dad grilled about the trip. Life resumed its rhythm, but cracks appeared. Jordan started avoiding family gatherings, claiming work shifts. Mike noticed, cornering me one evening in the garage. "What's up with Jordan? He's been ghosting me." I shrugged, heart hammering. "Maybe he's busy." Mike eyed me suspiciously. "You two seem chummy on the trip. Anything I should know?" I laughed it off, but the seed was planted. Weeks passed, and the tension built like a pressure cooker. I threw myself into school, but Jordan haunted my thoughts. One night, my phone buzzed. A text from him. "Need to talk. Meet at the park." I snuck out, driving to our old childhood spot. He was waiting on a bench, looking haggard. "I can't do this," he said, pretending nothing happened. Relief washed over me. Me neither. We talked for hours, sharing stories of hidden crushes and lonely nights. By dawn, we'd agreed to meet secretly. Coffee shops, late-night drives, testing the waters of what could be. Our relationship blossomed in shadows. Jordan opened up about his conservative upbringing. His dad was a retired military man who disowned a cousin for coming out. "If he knew," Jordan whispered one night in his truck, "I'd lose everything." I nodded, thinking of my own family. Dad's lectures on manliness. Mom's prayers for us to find good Christian girls. Mike was the wild card, loyal but traditional. Dating his best friend? It was betrayal on steroids. The first conflict hit when Mike invited us to a Broncos game. Jordan declined, and Mike exploded. "What the hell, man? You've been weird since the trip." They argued over the phone, Mike accusing Jordan of ditching him for some chick. I listened from my room, guilt gnawing. Later, Jordan called me, upset. "I hate lying to him." "Then don't," I said. "Tell him." He laughed bitterly. "And watch our friendship implode? No way. But secrets have a way of surfacing." One afternoon, I was at Jordan's apartment, a rare visit, when Mike showed up unannounced. We froze, me on the couch, Jordan in the kitchen. "Alex, what are you doing here?" Mike asked, brows furrowed. Jordan stammered. He needed advice on Hiking gear. Mike bought it, but his eyes lingered. That night, he confronted me at home. You and Jordan hanging out without me? Feels off. I denied it, but the lie tasted like ash. The pressure mounted at a family dinner. Dad announced Mike's engagement to his girlfriend, Sarah, a sweet girl from church. Cheers erupted, but I felt hollow. As toasts flowed, Mom turned to me. Your turn next, Alex. Find a nice girl. I forced a smile, but Jordan, invited as always, met my gaze across the table. Later, in the backyard, he pulled me aside. This is killing me, seeing you pretend. What choice do we have? I snapped. Come out and get disowned? He sighed. Maybe it's worth it. The turning point came during a storm, literal and figurative. A blizzard hit Denver, stranding us at home. Mike, Jordan, and I hunkered down in the basement, playing cards by flashlight. Tension simmered as Mike joked about bromance. Jordan shifted uncomfortably, and when Mike stepped out for snacks, he leaned in. I love you, he whispered. My heart soared, but fear gripped me. I love you too. But Mike returned, catching the tail end. What was that? Silence. Then Jordan, in a moment of recklessness, said, Mike, there's something you need to know. My blood ran cold. Don't, I pleaded, but Jordan pressed on. Alex and I, we're together. Mike's face drained of color. What? Like, dating? Jordan nodded. Mike exploded, cards flying. You son of a bitch. My brother? How long? We confessed, the trip, the secrets. Mike stormed out, slamming doors. The fallout was swift. Mike told our parents, framing it as Jordan's seduction. Dad raged, calling it disgusting. Mom cried, begging me to pray it away. I stood my ground, but the hurt in their eyes cut deep. Jordan's family reacted worse. His dad cut him off, calling him a disgrace. We leaned on each other, but the damage was done. Mike refused to speak to us, his engagement party overshadowed by whispers. In the weeks that followed, society piled on. Church friends shunned us, old classmates spread rumors online. Jordan lost a promotion at work after a coworker outed him. I faced stares at school, my art dismissed as influenced by perversion. The world we'd known crumbled, forcing us to rebuild from scratch. But was the freedom worth the pain? As conflicts escalated, choices loomed, fight or flee, hold on or let go. Months after the revelation, the fractures in our lives deepened into chasms. Mike moved out, crashing with Sarah, leaving a void in the house thicker than the silence at dinner tables. Dad barely spoke to me, his disappointment a constant shadow. I raised you better, he'd mutter, flipping through his Bible. Mom tried mediating, but her efforts rang hollow. Weekly church sessions where pastors preached about saving souls from sin. I attended once, the stairs burning like brands, and vowed never again. Jordan and I clung together, renting a tiny apartment downtown. It was our sanctuary, but even there, doubts crept in. Was this a mistake? I asked one night, staring at the ceiling. Jordan rolled over, his hand on mine. No. Hiding was the mistake, but the cost weighed heavy. He'd quit his ranger job after harassment from colleagues, taking a desk gig at a nonprofit. It's temporary, he said, but his eyes betrayed defeat. The first major confrontation came at Mike's wedding rehearsal. Despite the rift, Mom insisted I attend. Family sticks together. Jordan wasn't invited, a deliberate snub. I showed up alone, suit ill-fitting like my role in the charade. Mike pulled me aside in the church vestibule. Why'd you do it? Steal my best friend. Anger flashed. I didn't steal him. We fell in love. He scoffed. Love? It's a phase. You're confusing him. The word stung, echoing Dad's rants. Mike, please, understand. But he walked away, leaving me isolated amid the festivities. That night I confessed to Jordan. Maybe we should end it, for everyone's sake. He looked shattered. Is that what you want? Tears welled. No, but the pain. It's too much. We argued, voices rising. Him accusing me of cowardice. me blaming him for outing us prematurely. It ended in a fragile truce, but seeds of resentment sprouted. Society's backlash intensified. A local news story about changing family dynamics in conservative communities featured anonymous quotes that sounded suspiciously like our neighbors. Online, trolls targeted us. Jordan's social media flooded with hate. He deactivated accounts, but the isolation grew. "I miss my old life," he admitted during a walk in Washington Park. "Not the hiding, but the security." I nodded, guilt twisting. Had my insistence on honesty doomed us? A moral dilemma arose when Dad suffered a minor heart attack. Stress, the doctors said, likely from family strife. In the hospital, he gripped my hand. "Son, come home. Leave that life." Tears streamed as I refused. "I can't change who I am." Mom sobbed nearby, pleading. Leaving, I felt like a monster. Had my choices endangered his health? Jordan comforted me, but doubt lingered. Was love worth a father's suffering? Mike's wedding day arrived, a lavish affair at a country club. I sat in the back pew, an outsider in my own family. During vows, Sarah glanced at me with pity. At the reception, tensions boiled. A drunk uncle cornered me. "You disgust me," ruining Mike's big day. I bit back, but inside, I crumbled. Jordan waited outside, banned from entry. Driving home, I vented. "They treat us like criminals." He sighed. "Maybe we fight back." The idea took root, a support group for LGBTQ+ individuals in conservative areas. Jordan Dovein, organizing meetings. I designed flyers, channeling my art into advocacy. Our first session drew a dozen people, stories mirroring ours, hidden lives, family rejections. It empowered us, but backlash followed. Church leaders denounced it as promoting sin, picketing our venue. One night, vandals smashed Jordan's car window, leaving a note, "Faggots out." The betrayal hit hardest from within. Mike, post-honeymoon, reached out, not for reconciliation but accusation. "Sarah's pregnant. You happy?" Stress almost caused a miscarriage. Shock floored me. "That's not fair." He hung up, but the guilt consumed. Had our selfishness harmed an innocent life? Jordan dismissed it as manipulation, but I wavered, questioning every decision. As winter blanketed Denver, our relationship strained under the weight. Arguments escalated over money, family, the future. "We could have waited," I yelled during one fight. "Eased them into it," Jordan countered. "And live a lie forever? No." We made up, but scars remained. A turning point came when Jordan's dad called, offering reconciliation, if he repented, and left me. Jordan refused, hanging up in tears. "I chose you," he said, but the sacrifice haunted him. Amid the chaos, moments of awakening flickered. At a group meeting, a young man shared his suicide attempt after being outed. It hit home, our pain paled compared to others. We redoubled efforts, partnering with national organizations. Media attention shifted positively, a local paper profiling us as courageous trailblazers. Dad read it, calling unexpectedly. "I don't understand, but I miss my son." It wasn't acceptance, but a crack in the wall. Yet, as high as we climbed, falls loomed. Mike's baby news amplified family pressure. Mom visited, begging me to think of the child. Don't let it grow up without an uncle. Torn, I considered compromising, hiding again for visits. Jordan saw it as betrayal. "If you do that, we're done." The ultimatum forced a choice. Love or family? As conflicts peaked, the true test approached, a decision that would redefine everything. Spring brought tentative renewal to Denver, but our lives remained in turmoil. The support group grew, becoming a lifeline for many, including us. Jordan threw himself into it, coordinating events and counseling newcomers. I admired his resilience, but envy crept in. He seemed to thrive on the fight, while I drowned in doubt. "How do you keep going?" I asked one evening over takeout. He smiled faintly, "Because giving up means they win." Family dynamics shifted subtly. Dad's health improved and he started small talks, weather, sports, avoiding the elephant. Mom sent care packages, neutral gestures laced with hope. Mike remained distant, but Sarah reached out via text. He misses you. Give it time. I clung to that, but Jordan warned, don't get sucked back in. The next crisis erupted at a group fundraiser, a charity hike echoing our fateful trip. We invited allies, but word spread, attracting protesters. As we gathered at the trailhead, signs waved, protect our families, and sin has no place here. Jordan addressed the crowd, voice steady. We're here for love, not hate. But a familiar face emerged, Mike, standing with the protesters. My stomach dropped. What are you doing? I confronted him. He glared. Stopping this nonsense. You're brainwashing people. The argument turned ugly. Jordan intervened, defending me. Back off, Mike. This is who we are. Mike shoved him. You stole my brother. Fists flew before security separated them. The event canceled, media swarming. Headlines screamed, brotherly feud at LGBTQ+ event. Our story went viral, exposing raw wounds. Dad called, furious. You've embarrassed us all. I hung up, tears flowing. In the aftermath, Jordan and I retreated. This is too much, I said. We're destroying lives. He held me. No, they're choosing hate. But the incident cracked our unity. Jordan pushed for more activism. A rally downtown. I hesitated. What if it escalates? He accused me of weakness. If you're not all in, what's the point? Hurt. I stormed out, wandering streets alone. A chance encounter deepened the divide. At a coffee shop, I ran into an old high school friend, now out and thriving. It gets better, he said, but you have to own it. Inspired, I returned home, proposing compromise. Let's tone it down. Focus on us. Jordan exploded. Tone it down? That's surrendering. The fight revealed fissures. His all-or-nothing stance versus my desire for balance. Moral quandaries piled up. When a group member faced eviction after coming out, we housed him temporarily. It strained our finances, but Jordan insisted. We have to help. I agreed, but resentment built as bills mounted. Then, Dad offered financial aid if I attended therapy sessions. Tempted by relief, I considered it secretly. Jordan found the email. You're thinking of conversion therapy? Betrayal flashed in his eyes. After everything? I defended. It's just talking. For money. He left, slamming the door. Alone, I reflected on the prices paid. Lost friendships, strained careers, family rifts. All for authenticity. Was it worth it? Mike's call came unexpectedly. Saw the news. You okay? We talked haltingly, him admitting confusion. I don't get it, but I hate this distance. Hope sparked. Me too. But when I mentioned Jordan, he shut down. He's the problem. Jordan returned days later, apologetic. I overreacted. But we can't compromise our truth. We reconciled, but trust frayed. The rally approached a make or break. Protesters promised larger crowds. Nervous, I joined Jordan on stage. As he spoke, eggs flew, chants drowning him. Chaos ensued, police intervening, arrests made. In the melee, Jordan got hurt, a bruised rib from a scuffle. At the hospital, guilt overwhelmed. This is my fault, I said. He shook his head. No, it's theirs. But the event awakened me. Media portrayed us as victims, shifting public opinion. Donations poured in, group membership surged. Dad watched the coverage, calling afterward. I saw what happened. It's not right. Not approval, but progress. Yet, personal tolls mounted. Jordan's injury sidelined him, depression setting in. What if we can't win? He confided. I supported him, but my own resolve wavered when Mom revealed Mike's baby. A boy. He wants you involved, but cleanly. The implication, without Jordan. Torn. I faced the ultimate choice. Family reconciliation at love's expense? As summer heated, a final betrayal loomed. An anonymous tip to Jordan's new boss outed him again, costing his job. Suspicion fell on Mike, though denied. Confrontation at a family barbecue turned explosive. Did you do this? Jordan accused. Mike denied, but Dad interjected. Maybe it's for the best. I defended Jordan, storming out with him. In the car, he broke. I can't take more losses. Our future hung by a thread, decisions demanding sacrifices that would echo forever. The breaking point arrived in the sweltering heat of August, when everything converged into a whirlwind of confrontations and revelations. Jordan, unemployed and battered, suggested a drastic move, relocating to San Francisco, where acceptance was the norm. A fresh start, he said, eyes pleading. I hesitated, tied to Denver's roots. What about family? The group? He sighed. They'll survive. We might not. The decision weighed like an anchor. Mom's pleas intensified, weekly calls begging reconciliation. Your nephew needs you. Dad softened, offering olive branches. Come to dinner alone. The temptation grew, a path to partial peace. But it meant sidelining Jordan, a betrayal I couldn't stomach. If I go without you, I told him. It's over. He nodded grimly. Then don't. Mike's olive branch came via a surprise visit. He showed up at our apartment, baby ultrasound in hand. Look, Alex, this is your family. Emotion choked me. You are too. We talked for hours, him admitting fears of losing me to that lifestyle. Me explaining it's who I am. Jordan stayed silent in the bedroom, listening. When Mike left, promising to think, Jordan emerged furious. He still sees me as the enemy. The argument reignited old wounds. Maybe compromise, I suggested. Meet halfway, he scoffed. Halfway to hiding? No. Society's pressures peaked with a community forum on family values, where our story was debated. We attended, facing hecklers and supporters. Jordan spoke eloquently, but a panelist, a pastor from our old church, condemned us as moral threats. Dad was in the audience, his presence a shock. Afterward, he approached. I came to listen. Tears welled. And, he paused. It's hard, but, you're my son. A breakthrough, but conditional, he ignored Jordan. The climax unfolded at the baby's gender reveal party, which Mom insisted I attend. Jordan refused to go uninvited, forcing a solo trip. At the event, blue balloons popped, cheers erupting. Mike pulled me aside. Truce? For the kid. I agreed tentatively, but whispers circulated. Relatives eyeing me with disdain. Uncle's earlier slur echoed, fueling anger. When a cousin joked about turning me straight, I snapped. Enough! This is who I am. The room fell silent. Dad intervened, defending me for the first time. Leave my son alone. Empowered, I left early, rushing to Jordan. Things might change, but he was packing. I'm done waiting. Coming to Cali? The ultimatum hit hard. Give me time. He shook his head. Time's up. Choose. Heartbreaking. I watched him go, the door closing on our chapter. In the void, awakening dawned. Alone, I poured into the group, expanding it statewide. Media interviews followed, my story inspiring others. Family ties mended slowly. Dad attended a session anonymously. Mom baked for events. Mike invited me to the birth, Jordan's absence noted but unspoken. Months later, Jordan called from San Francisco. I miss you. We talked, wounds healing. He thrived in a new job, out and proud. Come visit. I did, rekindling sparks, but Denver called me back, to fight where it mattered. Years passed, scars fading into strength. The baby, my nephew, grew knowing Uncle Alex's full story. Mike evolved, apologizing for past hurts. Dad never fully accepted, but tolerated. Mom bridged gaps with love. Jordan and I parted as friends, our romance a catalyst for growth. Looking back, the mountain kiss ignited a firestorm of pain and progress. Conflicts tore us, but choices forged resilience. Betrayal stung, yet awakenings liberated. In the end, was the pursuit of authentic love, despite the devastating costs to family and self, ultimately the right path, or a selfish indulgence that inflicted unnecessary suffering on those we claimed to cherish.